Yes, alright, the lads. Welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, and we're back again with another update. This time from a special one that needs no introduction. AFC Bell. Again, back at it again with James Maddison. Look, we've spoken about James Maddison from a couple of, from a couple of outlets: Sky, the Telegraph, Charles Watts, and Goal.com, but it's always been about AFC Bell. He initiated this story, and I think he's been giving us the most important updates around this one. He has another one. He's back at it again, and I don't know. Do me a favor, do smash the like button, people. Obviously, do subscribe to the channel as well. We are moving very fast to 31,000 subscribers. That's really, really massive. So make sure you do, keep on subscribing on a daily basis. We are growing. The community is growing, and that's what we want to see. Let's get the party started. So to start the party, it's a James Maddison show, and the AFC Bell has spoken so many things. He actually put out a lot of information around James Maddison, and I'll try to break it down in a series of videos. I hope to come live today at around 7:30, and we will discuss much of this, what it exactly means, and where do we stand at the moment. But one of the things he said is right on your screen. He says information reaching the AFC Bell desk. Arsenal appointed broker has begun to test the heart of Leicester City in a round of back channel talks about a possible deal to sign James Maddison. The feeling is that the feeling in the club camp is that Maddison is not an untouchable player, but rather a window of hope if the price is right. So that is where we stand at the moment. If you look at the last date, if you look at the date when AFC Bell last put out something, you'll be amazed. I don't think you'll be amazed, but you'll be shocked. You'll be actually shocked. So in a couple of in a series of tweets, he also said that Arsenal have made their own investigations regarding the player's injury history and records, and the suitability of signing him under these circumstances, and still have a serious interest in Maddison. But it is understood that the two clubs are far from being evaluated at the moment. So what he says is Arsenal have looked into the injury record of the player. Arsenal have looked into the personal profile of the player, and still think he is the right player. He is the right man to lead the creativity at Arsenal. And what he says actually, he says that the problem now is the valuation between the two clubs is actually very, very big. There's a very big disparity between our valuation and the valuation of Leicester City. And he makes a very interesting reason as to why Leicester City could actually ask for astronomical fees. And we'll look at that, because he says it is understood that one of the reasons why the valuation gap between the two clubs is that Norwich included a sell-on clause in the sale of Maddison to Leicester City that would entitle them to a percentage of the profits of any future sale. Sources close to Norwich did not disclose the exact figure, but claim that the percentage is due between 10% and 15%. This is why I hate sell-on clauses. This is one reason I absolutely hate sell-on clauses. With sell-on clauses, the buyer, the buyer is pressed so much, because what happens is if James Maddison, if we buy James Maddison at 50 million pounds, that means that something like 5 million pounds will have to go to Norwich City. So what Leicester will do is they'll press for 70 million pounds so they can give 7 million to so they can give around 7 million to Norwich, and then they remain with a 63. That is the ridiculous part. That is the ridiculous part and truth of sell-on clauses. So the price is gonna be astronomical, because of the sell-on clause, Norwich City actually included in the into the contract of the player at the time of purchase. A series of more tweets, and here he says Arsenal is open to negotiating with Leicester City and reaching a compromise regarding the price of the deal to suit all parties. But if Leicester City insists on an astronomical amount, the club will turn to other options on its list. As we mentioned in January, Odegaard could be a welcome alternative if Plan A doesn't work. Right. So one thing we know is we are not willing to pay the astronomical figure Leicester City is asking for. We are not willing to pay the astronomical fee Leicester City is asking for. Actually, AFC Bob puts it right and says we will move on to other alternatives, and that is Martin Odegaard. But still, our number one Plan A priority is James Maddison. Obviously, he spoke a lot. He put out a lot today, and he says senior sources and very close to the negotiating table confirm that the decisive factor in James Maddison deal is not Arsenal's ability to provide the value of the deal, but the essence of the matter is that the club wants to do more work in this window. I will not and will not overspend madly on one deal. And there are other centers that the club wants to support. So that's it. We want to get in Madders. We want to bring in Madders, but we want to pay a lot for him. We want to pay a lot of money for him because it's not the only deal we want to do, and it only makes sense. It only makes sense. There is no reason that's why you pay £70 million for Maddison, and then you don't bring in a backup goalkeeper, you don't bring in a new right back, you don't bring in a central midfielder. I would rather go for someone a little bit cheaper, as long as they can give me what we want. Obviously, that is my man AFC Bell, and the last tweet he put out was this. So he says the end is still not written in the James Maddison deal, and it is not dead. But at the same time, it is not closed or decided. The club is working behind the scenes silently. Let's see what the club can achieve in the coming weeks, and let's pray for the good news. That is my man, the FC Bell. Obviously, big up my man, FC Bell, one of the finest reporters of Arsenal news. And I know many people have attacked this lad on Twitter for a couple of times, and look, that happens. That absolutely happens. I've been attacked as well, a couple of times on Twitter and YouTube. I don't really work with Facebook because I feel people on Facebook are not really that kind of people that they are not so tolerant. I don't believe they are so tolerant. They are very, very impatient, despite the fact that Twitter is toxic as well. I think every platform is toxic. Is toxic though. So I just wanted to give you this amount of information. You could process it later in the day. I will come and we'll digest it and try to make a lot of sense out of it. What you think, what I think. You guys will have a chance to call in and tell me what you think about this. Do you think that the deal will eventually happen? But what he says, the AFC plan, this is so important. He says deal not closed, deal not dead. That should be our headline in the next live stream. Maddison deal, Madders deal, not dead. Madders deal, not closed. So he says Arsenal working silently behind the scenes, deal not close, but we are very optimistic that maybe we can get a compromise between us and Leicester City. If we fail to get it, obviously there will be no other reason or other option. We'll actually move on to getting another player. Remain Cossy. Do smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, obviously follow me on Twitter at Cossy, Instagram Cossy19, Facebook Cossy's Arsenal Podcast, and then I'll speak to you very, very soon.